Good morning, everyone. Sports fans, DFS fans, fantasy sports fans, whatever it might be. Thanks for coming over to the DFS 5-Pack. I'm your host, Ryan Kostrowski. We're here to go through our daily installment of Tip of the Day. If you're new and catching this one for the first time, real simple. Just kind of discuss some of the nuances of the DFS game. There's a lot that goes into this game on a daily basis. And if we could take a couple minutes every day to up our game, everybody wins. If you guys are new to the station, if you want more videos all predicated around DFS, fantasy sports, press that red button that says subscribe. It's the easiest way to get notifications. And as we cover every single day, the thumbs up is sincerely appreciated. And just a reminder to everybody, if you've ever considered the lifetime pricing, prices are going up to $400 here very soon. In fact, over the weekend. Running a sale right now for $325. Sign up through the website and you'll get a $25 reimbursement, or you can go manually through either one of these addresses. So today what I want to talk about, since we're in the midst of the NBA DFS season, is how to take a look at back-to-backs. And the NBA, every team gets a dozen of them, maybe a little bit more throughout the season, and they affect different people differently. LeBron James is a freak of nature. You know, he does not affect it by being on the tail end of a back-to-back, but we're also talking about one of the greatest basketball players and greatest athletes we've ever seen. He probably does everything better than the majority of people out there. So the thing you want to look out for is in the front end of back-to-backs, it's important to look at who they're playing tomorrow. If a team like, the Toronto Raptors, one of the better teams in the East, if they've got kind of a cupcake matchup with the Cavs on Thursday, but take on the Philadelphia 76ers on Friday, for example, look for the coach to try to limit the workload of a guy like a Kawhi, who might even be sitting, so he's a bad example, but a Kyle Lowry, Serge Ibaka, for example. And coaches will always try to win the game on hand if that game is close. The problem is, we see with all the three-point shooting, especially these days, when you get into the fourth quarter and one team's up, I'd say 15 points, give or take, if they hit a couple of threes early on and the 15 turns to 21, your guy is very likely to lose some court time. Court time equals minutes. Court time equals points, I guess is what I was trying to say. So that is important. Now, if you love the matchup, if you think the game's close, then it's not something you want to be overly concerned about. But if it's a coin flip situation and you're a bit worried this one's going to get lopsided, guys lose a run. It's not something I'm here to say that's how I think it is. It's just really how it is. I've been watching box scores and minutes and player rotations nonstop for the last 6 or 7 years. That's just, it's a flat out fact. Coaches will try to save, especially their better players, for the next night if they've got that discrepancy. But again, if the game's close, you take the game at hand and then it's not a worry. So if you love the game and you love the player, then it's not something to be overly concerned about. Now, the other side of it is, what do you do on the tail end of back-to-back? Again, there are certain athletes, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, and if you're not sure, go over to Basketball Reference, take a look at how they've produced on the tail end of back-to-backs that year. It should give you a better idea of what to expect. I don't like the tail end of back-to-backs, especially if they're playing like in Denver with the altitude and things like that. Guys get mentally and physically drained, and there are exceptions to the rule. And again, if you love the game, if you've got a guy, and I'm trying to think of a stud center off the top of my head, of course I'm drawing a blank, just say Rudy Gobert or Karl Anthony Towns or any of the good centers in the league, at home against the Brooklyn Nets the next day, and it's an absolute smash spot for him. Yes, that can override being on the tail end of a back-to-back in the right situation, but it's at least worth noting. And if you got guys in a cone flip situation, let's say you're staring down the center position and you're trying to, choose between Clint Capella and Steven Adams. You like them both about the same, but one guy's on a back-to-back. I will almost always choose to go with the guy that's not on the back-to-back. Look, I'm far from a professional athlete, but I'm a human being, and I think most of you guys are too, and you're here to understand that guys just will get more mentally and more tired if they played a hard game the night before. And there is a difference between how the game worked out. If the game was a blowout the night before and point guard stud Russell Westbrook only played 26 minutes and it was a stress-free game, that's not nearly the concern if he played 39 minutes in a hard-fought battle with the Houston Rockets. So it's not just a flat rule, but it's something you have to evaluate on a daily basis, and it is something that should be part of your arsenal. All right, guys, that's what we got for today. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, give the thumbs up, sign up to be a member, and all that good jazz. We will see you soon for our regular scheduled DFS advice.